Hey everyone, and welcome to a patch notes video for Eve Echoes. In this video, as per the title, I will be covering tomorrow's patch notes, the highly anticipated patch of the 19th of April 2023. So before I start, please like or subscribe if you want to see more of these videos or hear, as this will be more of a listening video for those of you who want to listen to something in the background. Anyway, without any more preamble, let's get started, shall we? So the first thing we've got is Faction Wargames Ego Traverse. Ego Traverse is a faction wargame that we've already had previously. It is a instanced PvP event, and if I recall correctly, it is one where you have two players against each other with a shrinking environment. The benefit of this particular faction wargame is you can bring in your own ship, your own personally built ship. So, you get to show off your skins, your nanocores, your A-types, if you happen to be that kind of player. So moving on, of course, we have, as expected, the next Concord Pass. I guess the most important thing about this Concord Pass is those of us that want those items to upgrade our nanocores to gold without buying them with real money. We'll be able to get another round of these, most likely using up our Concord points. I personally have been waiting for the next Concord Pass just so that I can get the last of those to upgrade my ball gun. But moving on through the Concord Pass, new rewards obtainable from the pass. Trailblazer Series Nanocore is going to be the nanocore on display this month. And the Module Invention Principles skill chip, I do not know why I struggled with that word, will be removed from the Concord Pass shop at the 31st of May. Okay, so we have until the 31st of May to buy the Module Invention Principles skill chip. Thankfully, my Invention alt already has that particular skill chip, so I don't need to worry there. Cat's just jumped on my lap, so apologies if you start to hear purring in the background. Moving on, we have Corporation Clash. Added Clash with Loss to Corporation Clash. This will be interesting because one of the greatest concerns with Corporation Clash, in addition to there being no real benefits to having taken part, is the fact that it is another instanced event where you don't actually lose anything. So, destroyed ships on the battlefield will incur actual losses. Any lost ships can be covered with insurance. The question here is this going to be an option where you tick a box and say, I want this to be a Corporation Clash fight with loss or without loss? Personally, it needs to... It depends. It depends on the rewards. Let's move on. This could be an entire review in and of itself. So, added weekly missions to Corporation Clash. So this is trying to create the incentives to get us to play it. Mission requirements: join a Corporation Clash where both parties have at least 10 participants. Reach 10,000 with battlefield total contribution. Contribution from different clashes during the mission all counts towards it. So I presume that means if you do multiple clashes throughout the week, they all accumulate. I hope that's what they mean there. Translation isn't always going to come through perfectly. You may claim the reward once you've fulfilled all of the above requirements. Okay, so you have to complete everything to get the reward. It's not a reward for each different mission or activity. Refresh time. Mission progress and mission rewards are reset at weekly maintenance. So we don't actually know what the reward is here. For all we know, it could be 5,000 skill points, or it could be points to spend on a particular in-game store. We don't know what the rewards are yet, but hopefully the rewards are enough to incentivize us to go into a loss Concord Clash, and hopefully the loss Concord Clash is the only one, and there will be no option for a lossless, because why would you go for the loss one when the lossless one is equally as viable, right? Moving on, we have optimizations. Apologies if my voice sounds like it's starting to go. I'm one of those people that, loses their voice when they talk too much. Valuation updated based on market transaction record. This would not be a patch notes without it. It's been said before and it will be said again. Lowered the replacement cooldown. No, apologies. Lowered the replace cooldown for nanocore to 1 week, allowing pilots to use the nanocore they desired. I'm not entirely sure what that is. That is most likely going to be a feature that I've never interacted with and never been aware of. Removed the level 4 to level 10 common vessel debris drops from encounter missions. Lowered the spawn rate for gravitational waves. Okay, so I presume what they're talking about here is when we do our missions in high sec and low sec, that being your encounter missions, sorry, the wrecks that drop will no longer drop common vessel debris. So that will be no more level 10 Blood Raider debris for not Blood Raider. Is it? No, it's MR. Right, there we go. So no more level 10 MR debris in our wrecks in high sec. No big deal there. It's probably just to encourage us to go out into null sec more. I'm all for that. As the modules in New Eden grow more powerful, Concord has decided to remove the large and medium faction modules from the loyalty points shop, increasing the spawn rate of rare items such as drone blueprints. Okay, so we have arguably fewer reasons to engage in faction warfare. If there are fewer rewards in there, we have fewer reasons to engage with it. Okay, yeah. Let's move on. Optimized the model name of some experimental modules. Okay. Leave a comment below if you have an idea what that will mean before the actual patch comes out. Optimized skill description. Adding a reminder in the description for all skills that are effective for lightweight ships. Okay, I've never looked at those skills. Let's move on. Optimized the missiles weapon tips. After learning the speciality skill, you can now see the change in the attributes. Default set at 100% and the lower it is, the better. Okay. Replaced the nanocore materials available at Shard Exchange with generic models that are more widely used, clone-bound. Okay. Moving on. Optimized the description for skill chip. You can now see the effect of the chip's skill. Okay, yeah. So this is an important one. These new skill chips that we've been able to buy and make and sell on the market, whenever you clicked into the skill chip, into the market item window, as it were, it doesn't really tell you what the skill is. You have to back out, go to the skill menu, navigate to the skill that corresponds with the skill chip to find out what the skill specifically does. So including the effect of the skill on the skill chip's item profile, which I hope is what this means, is only an improvement. It's a minor thing, but these minor things can stack up to an inconvenient experience if they're not addressed. So yeah, that's a good one. Added a delete all edit feature for mail and notifications. Okay, I don't ever really see the need to delete any of those. Just select all markers red, done, forget about them. Auto delete if that's a thing after a certain date. So moving on to bug fixes. Fixed an issue where battle implants such as Barrage Repression and Focused Crystal may not be able to activate their branch skill in rare circumstances. Okay. To offer a better combat experience for pilots, the out-of-zone damage of the Dormant Realm has been temporarily blocked. We are in the process of optimizing it. I was vaguely aware that there was an out-of-zone damage for Dormant Realms, but I've never encountered it, most notably because of the fact that Dormant Realm 2, the Abyss, is predominantly, in my community anyway, the most commonly run Dormant Realm, and you don't move around in it. In the other Dormant Realms I've ran, I've never even come close to encountering this out-of-zone area. So, yeah, it's not that big a deal. Fixed an issue where the signal amplifier had an incorrect strength. Okay. Fixed a display issue where the basic info tab entry for the module Swarm Carrier Defense Module is incomplete. It will now correctly show any modification to the control range on lightweight ships. For those of you that have these particular carriers, that will mean something to you. Moving on, we have fixed an issue where the Vexor 2 had an incorrect sensor strength. Most people won't have noticed that. Fixed an issue where Noctis 2 ships could not use a nanocore. That's technically not in this patch because, as previously mentioned, for example, in the Echoes of New Eden podcast that was released 2 days ago, if you don't listen, go and listen to them. They're brilliant people. They pointed out that that has already been fixed in a hot patch. So I don't know why they've included it here. Really, it should have been included in a previous hotfix patch note. But there it is. At least we know it's happened now, officially. Which was interesting. The Noctis nanocore wasn't applicable to the Noctis 2, which made the Noctis 2, in many cases, for some, worse than the Noctis 1. Next up, fixed an issue where pilots could not reprocess any implants if they did not learn the reprocess skill. That's an interesting bug. Lastly, fixed a display issue where the basic info panel for fighter does not show the fighter's carry limit. And that, I'm afraid, is the end of the patch notes. So, unfortunately, we are not getting the highly anticipated patch that has, all of the corporation stuff in it, like increased corporation limit, the new corporation sovereign, like upgrades and modules. None of that, none of the exciting stuff. Just some bug fixes, couple of event-specific stuff, optimizations. Not really much to say, I guess, after reading all of that. So, yeah, I guess we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for when all of the big exciting stuff really does drop. In the meantime, I guess I'll be closing this announcement and playing the game for a good half an hour. Thanks again for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're that way inclined. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.